Good morning, everybody, and this is your S&P 500 technical analysis for today. So, at one stage I was really thinking we were going to get a much bigger pullback and break through the structure here, but we basically bounced off the bottom of the structure and hit the top of the structure in one day. So it was pretty big, pretty big and fast move, to be honest. So for me at the moment, we want to buy off the bottom of the channel and sell off the top of the channel. So that's kind of the structure that's in place right now. Interesting bit of information for everybody at the moment. So from the lows of, or COVID lows down here, so from here, we are up 102%. So the index has doubled in less than 2 years. Very interesting thing, but it's that is a strong bull trend in anybody's eyes. That's why I say don't pay attention to the noise. When you see the noise out there telling you that this is a bubble and it's going to crash and get out of it. People have been saying that. In actual fact, let me just go back to that chart. People have been saying that since here. So since the was a 61.8 retracement of the fall right over there, and this is when the noise started. That needs another pullback, it needs a correction, we've got to come back and close these gaps, and V reversals are rare, and wada, there's a whole lot of noise happening, and then we broke above it. Then we've got this bit of consolidation here in 2020, and same noise was happening here. Market's going to crash, overpriced and not going to happen, and then we continued up. Ignore the noise, guys. That's just my advice for you. If you pay attention to the noise, you would never got into this and you would never made any money. Anyway, let's just get down to our trading strategy for today. And yesterday was a bit of a mess. So I was looking at that area there. It did bounce a bit, but then we bounced all the way to the downside, and we came all the way down to these tails here. So this is why I always say put at least 3 levels in for your structure, and we'll have a look at that on the lower time frames now. But you can see what I'm doing. There's tails right there. I can actually just fine tune that one. There's tails right there. There's a tail. There's a tail. And what I also say is look for an area where you've got the most tails. So one tail, there's 2 tails. Okay, I'm ignoring all the other tails, but I'm only really referring to fractals. So fractals is what I trade off. If we just come down, we need this level here because I have a feeling we have a buying opportunity developing right over there at 44.69, and we're looking for 4,500. That is our next target. If we just come down to the hour, okay, there is another level in the hour a little bit further down. Right, so what I'm looking for is price action right at this level here. And you can see I can drop it just a little bit just to cover these 2. Now I've got 2 tails in there. So it's at 44.68. And then I'm also looking for structure a little bit further down at 44.62. So that's kind of the area I'm looking to buy into. And I'm looking for a move to the upside. I'm looking for a second move, to be honest. This was a very strong move to the upside. So typically you will get a second move, or alternatively you'll go sideways. So that's kind of the structure we've got there. Every one of these levels you can see, if we just start looking at what happened yesterday, just to give you an indication. So first things first, and when we did the video I was saying it's looking like a fairly good area to be buying into. We weren't quite at the level. You can see there's our pin bar, there's our structure. It did rally, so we would have made a little bit of money, but it basically just tested that level. Then we bounced off, then we did hit the level, but we closed below it. So hindsight being a perfect science, oscillators not grouped quite decently on the 15-minute. Wait, and then you can see at the open sort of just one-way traffic to the downside with all the noise going on in the world. 44.41 oscillators grouped to the downside. We know we've got 2 fractals to the left here on the 8 hour, and you can see how we built a base and then immediately ran away. Now, it's easy to look at it now and say, hey, that was a perfect entry. But at that point, you would have been thinking, oh, this thing is falling to the floor, because you're paying attention to the noise that's going on around the world. So, just another reason as to why you want to put your blinkers on and just focus on your price action. Ignore all news, noise, commentary. Just ignore it. Focus on the price action. See the price action. Make sure you've got a stop area and you've got an entry area, and trade accordingly. That is my advice to you. Anyway, we do have some gaps to the downside. Yeah, look here. There's a gap. Is that a gap? Looks like a little bit of a gap over there, but I think these are a little bit more. There's right here at 44.55, and that's 44.56. So so there's a gap right here, and there's another one further up, and then there's a couple more even further up as well. So for me at the moment, let's just stick to the hour. That's what we want to be on. So first area is this one here. Pay attention to 44.68. Next area is 44.62. What you can also do is just put your Fibonacci on, and you'll see the 50% Fibonacci is around here. 61.8 is a little bit further down. There's no structure at the 61.8. There's more structure close to the 50. So 50 would be a half decent area to buy. Just bear in mind your stop is below the low of yesterday. I'm just going to delete all this noise, because there's one other thing you need to pay attention to. This is a double bottom. Why, you ask? Look at my oscillators. Oscillators are giving you diversion, so low, higher, low. Price are giving you low, lower, low. As soon as we broke above that area, that is the double bottom. So where's my double bottom target? Was not hit. So this would be a classical move if we can get back to the structure. So we can pull back to 44.62. I'm a buyer. Stop below here, and then I'm looking for 44.86 as my first target. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.